Welcome to the world of Rouge. Today is the second episode and we are still trying to figure things out, so stay with us. I am Oliwia Rouge and Shredy is here with me. Today we'll be talking about questions from the audience, so I hope you lean back and enjoy. And we would like to thank the people that commented under the video. Anya, Nada, Maria, BMX, Jos, Sargon Murt, Nora, Zaid und Dia. We will also read the questions from the audience and answer them. So I'm really looking forward for this episode. And also I'm very excited that we find a name for the podcast. The first question I would like to read is from Taha. My question is how to let go of old patterns, especially in hard times, old hurts from friends and family, how to stay committed to holistic change and not to look back or get back to hell. How can you live in an environment that declares war against you and still wins? How also to not think about ending our lives and let go of suicidal thoughts that comes from time to time in those hardships and hard times. And there was also another one. Why do some men or women want to be with more than one partner? Is it fair for a man to have multiple sexual partners if he doesn't allow his girlfriend the same and she's okay with it? So I would go back to the first one. And my question is how to let go of old patterns, especially in hard times. I think the first step to let go of old patterns is to know what your patterns are. You have to recognize what is my pattern and how does it serve me. What do you think about it?
I think changing patterns is one of the most difficult things because it's in the subconscious. And changing that, it is not, we talked about it last time, it's a holistic change. It is not only changing that specific pattern technically, it's also changing the mindset behind it, it's also changing the environment. There are so many actions and technicalities that I need to change that have a direct and indirect connection with that pattern. And yeah, sometimes it's not easy and it's painful to change those things because you need to sacrifice. Because in the old patterns, you're aware of their destructive outcome, but also you enjoy them to a certain extent. So here, one needs to make a choice. What is the priority?
Yeah.
And the change is holistic. You cannot say, I want to change, to stop smoking and keep hanging around with people who actually smoke. Holistically, you mean stop smoking, it means throwing out of your life everyone that smokes. It means that budgeting your money, and there's a lot of things that look indirect, but they are relevant to that change. Mm-hmm. So also in relationships, you cannot just change the relationship without changing your identity in that relationship, without changing your mindset, without changing the technicalities and the dependency, financial dependency, there's technical dependency. You need to claim your sovereignty in order to take this relationship to the next level. But you cannot only change, I just want them to respect me. And that's it. No. You need to claim that respect by holistic transformation, including throw them out of your life sometimes in order to appreciate what they lost. Mm-hmm. But then the changing, the transformation, the holistic transformation, it means that also I am not interested in them anymore. So I'm not faking it just until they respect me. The holistic transformation might mean also that I'm not looking for their validation anymore. I'm already somewhere else. So That's why people kind of maybe misunderstand the idea of changing their patterns that they don't like, because they only want to change the painful part, but they want to keep the cookie. You need to get rid of the cookie as well that comes from that pattern.
Yeah, so changing patterns also comes with responsibility. Also, when you want people to respect you, it's your responsibility to not let them in or accept kind of behavior that is disrespectful. So it's also an active choice. Yes. So in this question also is like old hurts from friends and family. So my question is how to let go of old patterns, especially in hard times, old hurts from friends and family. So I'm asking myself, is this old pattern connected to the old hurts from friends and family?
Yeah. Now, sometimes like we transform, but the old belief system, or we want to transform, but the old belief system keeps us behind. Like kind of, let's say a child, he looks at his parent who's 25 years old, and a child takes him seriously because he's 25 years old. But 25 years old is 25 years old. You know what I mean? But from the point of view of the child, he's adult, he's sovereign, he's big, he's a 25 years old, might be also dependent on his parents to survive. Yeah. Or on the system or on the government or whatever. The thing is that this child grows up and still looks up to that 25 years old as he's something important or something genius or so. But no, this is, sometimes like this question that you asked, that the person perceives the friends and family not as who they are, but as who he is. He projects on them something that he is like this. They are not necessarily like this. And it becomes, so he's kind of hanging on his wishful thinking of how they should be, not hanging on who they are. So he's not meeting them in the same reality.
Yes, and then we define our identity also based on this dynamic that there is. Like we also can create our own identity. So it's like this, we create a codependency based on a dynamic that doesn't serve us, no? And then we think, I feel so hurt, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy. But you only see it in this perspective towards those dynamics. And as you said, we are not these children anymore. We are not depending on surviving. So as a grown-up, you have the choice to just cut them out of your life if they doesn't respect you and if you feel bad in this dynamic. If everything that they give you back, like this mirroring, is giving you a lower self-worth, and you feel energetically drained after being with them. But now we have a choice. You can decide whether you want also still think about them and give them the power to be in your head. We talked about this holistic change last time, and you also mentioned it now. And the second question is how to stay committed to holistic change and not to look back or get back to hell. And you also said that even if we realize that the pattern doesn't serve us, it still gives us a good feeling. I know that the old pattern doesn't serve me, but if in the moment that I have the choice to let go of it, it feels kind of, I want to still go into it. It's more tasty than doing the other choice, than doing the right choice. So even though I know it's not good, it's not going to bring me to my aim that I want to achieve, I still go for it because my brain is so used to it.
Yeah, and also kind of people are different. Some people have no goals, they have no interests. some people thrive only on chaos. They enjoy drama. They are there only for the group dynamics, only for the emotional exchange. And there are people who have aspirations, who have goals, who have dreams. So there is no debate between both. Because you have a goal and you think that with the other person you can debate and you can find mutual ground, but the other person is not interested in the goal in the first place. He's interested on having some emotional substance or some kind of emotional thrill, or to feel that he is important. So he makes you that you should be dependent on him. It gives him a sense of purpose, something he feels important. But actually, without this emotional exchange, this loser is no one.
Yeah.
He's no one. And that's why there's a lot of emotional manipulation that many people master. But if you're a person who have goals, who have aspirations and dreams, you're not like many people, who their lives are just moving in the group dynamics, just enjoying the emotional exchange. Of course, there are many things that allow this thing to happen. If people are living from the welfare system, if their lives is somehow they're having bank transfers from their parents, so they are bored with life. They have no need to grow any purpose, any goals. Things are running in the background fine for them. So in order for them to feel something with life, so they try to create drama and to create troubles and to create problems. But if you're someone who's objective-oriented and have goals, leave the drama out. I need to create. I need to build. I need to do things. You cannot be with those people in the same room.
Yes.
Because they will conspire and do everything that they can in order to take you down. Because the fact that you're objective-oriented, you just mirror that they are not like this. And this is painful for them. It triggers a lot of shame, triggers a lot of sense of inferiority when they stand in front of you. So you are chasing their validation and you are chasing their love and you want to overcome the injuries that caused by them. But it's not the same. You are projecting something. You think that they are like you, that they also have goals and they have data, and you think that one day you can grow together. No way. That's not the same.
I think if you are on the path of this holistic change and you are really honest with you, then you can feel it. When you are with people that have no goals and just feed on this group dynamics. And then it's again your responsibility to walk away from it if you really want to achieve your aims, your goals and your aims. So also this question with how can we live in an environment that declares war against us or against you and still wins? The thing that I was asking myself is, can you leave? Can you leave this environment? Is there a possibility? Or are you legally, do you have to stay with them? Because if you chose to be with them because you have hopes that they might change, as you say, most likely they will not change if it keeps repeating and years by years they treat you the same. So it's your responsibility to leave that environment, to find your peace, and then to heal and to transform.
Yeah. It's also we will always have challenges in other environments. So, of course, when we have the ability to leave, the best thing is to leave. But we will have to live with many other people that come with backgrounds and come with their own interests and instincts and so on. So I think that if we know who we are and we know with whom we are dealing with and we know the circumstances, the environment, then we can navigate. And we can, not everyone has to be our best friend. No, not everyone has to be our family. Some people can only be as employees. Some people can be only... The neighbor is a neighbor. Some people can only be in a certain category, but not everyone has to be my best friend, and I don't need to look for validation and love from everyone. Not everyone has the responsibility to carry. Not everyone has the ability to carry such responsibility of acknowledging reality, of seeing the truth. Many people are being triggered by the truth, so they try to do everything that they can in order to invalidate and to deny. So it doesn't make a difference how much you do and how much you create. They will always look on the other side and tell you, no, it's not like this. Not because they don't see it, because it triggers their fears, it triggers their envy, it hurts their pride. So we need to know with whom we are dealing with and in which context. And then the idea is to navigate and to survive relationships. But again, the things are so complex and there's so much confusion because it feels like an experiment where we are not experiencing the same reality. Everyone is living in his own reality. Some people have the ability of vision in order to see and to access other realities, and some people are living in their own bubble that is impossible for them to see anything but their projection. When we detect those, we also need to be aware of it, to stay safe and to navigate.
Yeah, by leaving the environment, I also meant sometimes you can leave everything behind. There are people, they just go to other places and start over. But to make space in your life, but not spending so much time with people anymore. To be more with yourself. To prioritize, to spend time with yourself. So you can again make space for the voices that live in your head and to have honest conversations with you, to have time to heal, to reflect. And then if you get into an interaction with someone else, you have more energy, you created more space within you, and then you can see how the dynamics works for you. Because if you are always with people, all the time with people, emotional exchange and loudness, there is so little space for reflection and to feel what you actually need and how the others make you feel. So it's way easier to get destabilized by people. And if you have more space and calmness, then you can choose which dynamics you would like to have. What do you need from a relationship? I would like to switch now to Abdallah Habib. Oliwia is a very nice host who seems to be wealthy with artistic experience. I wish she could share some of them with us. Thank you so much for the compliment. So we already talked about it in the first episode, about what we created until now. So what Shredy and I did was now storytelling through pictures. This was a huge project for us this summer, which we accomplished very well. And you can see it also on the website. It's not only the storytelling through pictures, but also with text to give it a little bit more insight. Now the second step is why we are here, the podcast. And I have dancing experience since 4 years, so I also stood on stages with different projects that we did in front of the camera, in the theater, for music videos. So the question from Dia Sandy was, thank you, Oliwia. When you get the chance, please share your thoughts about dancing and the power behind it. So coming back now to the dancing explicit, I have experience with ballet, with jazz, with contemporary, with experimental. I really like to do crump. And I think that every dance has its own power and its own energy that wants to be transferred. What do you like?
We're telling stories through performance, through visual arts. And, I started as an actor. But then today it is, I worked on many theaters and many films and and at a certain level, I didn't want to tell stories of others anymore because it looks like, to me, It's driven by certain agendas and interests that not necessarily I'm agreeing with. So now in a place where I like to tell my own stories and to create my own media, and social media allows that to work. So we are combining all the mediums that are necessary in order to make this happen. And I'm not limiting myself to one medium. It is what we have today with photography, videography, music, performance. So we are free. The idea is that to have the mindset of the generalist, where we can combine all those mediums for the cause, for the purpose. So we're not technicians. Yeah. So I'm not a technician. I'm not only a performer. But it is, that's why I call it an artistic direction, because it needs a vision in order to guide and to direct. Yeah. It is not a marketing name. It is actually, I know that in Berlin everybody calls himself an artistic director, but this is something that has to combine all the mediums that are available in order to achieve the goal.
Yes.
Yeah, and dancing is dancing is beautiful technical ability and one aspect of performance, and it has a lot of genre and it has a lot of backgrounds, and which is beautiful, physical expression, and it's it is. There's endless and it's rich. So why would we want to limit ourselves to one medium and one?
Yes, it is endless and it is rich, and every genre has its own language. We have a question from Be Like Water. Thank you, Oliwia and Shredy. It was such a nice and inspiring episode. From my perspective, I got to see how Shredy's learning took shape in an artistic work with Oliwia's effort, challenges, and transformation. I'm especially interested to hear you, Oliwia, talking about the inner work along the way, how you handled and overcame challenges such as fear, hesitation, responsibility, etc. I believe that how you confront and overcome these challenges can apply to my own life and others as well, regardless of the profession and path. To overcome challenges such as fear, hesitation, responsibility, it's a 24/7 work. It's never ending. And I find myself meeting with fear like every single day. But we have an aim. We know where we want to go. Zielorientiert, that's how we call it in German. And this is a huge help. So without having a clear aim, and to know that I'm already on the right path, I think it would be impossible for me to overcome myself. And I'm also really helpful that you're helping me with this, because we are building this together. So it's way easier to give everything that I have when I know that there is someone else helping me and giving me the right guidance.
Yeah, it is. We talked about it yesterday or 2 days ago. You said that it is really almost impossible to do it.
Yes.
And you told me that now you understand why I told you in the beginning it is almost impossible to do it. I know that many have a superficial conception of, I need to technically do this, make a music video, the ganzheitliche, the holistic transformation with all what it comes with. It is almost, not only that somebody else, it is difficult to do it, but sometimes you need somebody from the outside to come here, to take you from, to put it there, because the challenges, when the genuine transformation happens, everyone around will recruit themselves, they will go out of their way to block your way.
Yes.
Suddenly, all the people that are not objective-oriented, that they are not goal-oriented, they are very much, suddenly, they're all very strategic in how to block you. They call each other. They send messages to people that they don't know. They call deine Kollegen, your colleagues. They send messages to your colleagues in order to block it for you. The whole world starts to conspire. And not only kind of the outer world, also the inner world. All the programming, all the voices that people are used to. So, and sometimes there is also, you don't know where you're going. So you're going in the dark. So in this case, you really needed to trust me without knowing what we are doing. Only now, recently, we started to see some light at the end of the tunnel. But in the beginning, it is nobody sees. I mean, you stay in the circle until you say, okay, I'm done with it. I need to go out, including I'm ready to trust this guy that I don't know who he is. And it looks fine. I see some of his, it looks fine. And you trusted. You trusted almost, it is not, you really let go of all your need to control your journey, and you trusted. And this is something that is valuable for me, because then I take it seriously and I want to make things right. So, but it is almost impossible for people to make it really on their own.
Yes. And I'm all in. Like, I give more than 100%, and still sometimes and some moments I slip. Can you say it like this in English? Like I slip? Yes. So even if you recruit all of your energy and all of your motivation, and there's someone putting you here, you still manage to do mistakes. And this is a process for me, actually, to be okay with this, to realize that even if your consciousness, you try to be as conscious as possible, I want really to do it right. There is this unconscious part, this big programming that is trying to go against you and to get more and more aware, and then to make the small changes within months, within years, because you want this genuine transformation. But you need to be all in. Yeah. You need to be all in.
Yeah, and it's not a moment of dopamine. This is months of small changes and small technicalities with no dopamine, without people clapping their hands and tell you, wow, you're amazing. Actually, on the contrary. It will not. Nobody will say that you're doing amazing. People will say that you have a problem, that there's something wrong with you. You can make a podcast with all the investment and all the work, and no one having a 30 minutes, 40 minutes conversation and communication, yes, and objective communication and a fruitful debate, and people will still find something wrong to criticize it.
Yes.
While they cannot do 1% of what you are doing.
Yes.
So this is just an example of the endless resistances that people will face in case that they're going to walk this journey.
Yes.
If you get support from the environment, it means that you're not making the genuine transformation. It means that you are complying with what they want you to be. But the moment you make the genuine transformation and you claim your sovereignty and you have a purpose and you try to create and to achieve your goal and to recruit your energy in order to make it, people will not like it. Especially people who are not in the same level of intelligence and consciousness. People who will be on that level of awareness and consciousness will love you, will support. They are not a lot. They can be very few. They're not a lot. But unfortunately, the majority that are busy with their egos and with their envy and with their pride, and your sovereignty will only reflect their sense of inferiority. So kind of, you will not be welcome. And this will hold you back. It's not an easy thing to do.
No, this is super difficult thing to do. Because we already talked about this changing the patterns, that it's almost impossible. And if you make it, then you really have to find your own recipe. Like for me, to have this quietness, to not to talk to many people, to go on a walk, and then to have this long inner conversations, to make room for all the voices, to realize, okay, this might be an old pattern and it's triggered, and everything in your head is like, go after the old pattern. You know what the result is gonna be. This makes you feel safe. This is gonna give you a reward because your brain is wired that way. So this is already like such a big job. And then you really try to change and you put out all of these amazing things that you were working on months on it. And people from the closest people to you are gonna be like, smash you. And try to keep you in these old patterns. This is such a huge energy. This is such a force. So you have to have a huge feeling of self-respect, of self-worth, and belief. Believe that this is your journey, that this is natural in a crazy way. This is natural, what's happening. And it's like testing. It's like something is testing you. If you maybe really, really want it or not. Because I cannot explain myself this force. Yeah. But usually, especially your family is like, you should do this, you should work on this, or why are you doing this? I want you to have this in this position in life. I want you to accomplish this. And they're criticizing on you that you're not enough and that you should show yourself more and have a better energy and a better life. And then you actually do it and they're still not happy. Like, I'm doing actually what I always wanted. I'm shining, I'm happy, I'm erfolgreich.
Successful.
I'm successful. What is happening? Yes. So yes, it is a lot of fear. And hesitation, I don't know if there's a hesitation. I don't know what is meant in this context. Because hesitation I don't have. Yeah. But responsibility, also a big responsibility. This is the greatest challenge for me, to be responsible here. Yes. The awareness, how responsible you are, it's growing every day so much. Especially if the surrounding is not supporting you, then to stay in your inner power and to realize, I am a grown-up. I am responsible for my life. And I am responsible to hold myself together and to do everything that brings me closer to the aim that I have.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not responsible, then you have the mindset of the victim.
Yes.
Things happen to you, but you cannot create the things that you want when things happen to you. You need to make things happen, and you have to be able to respond. You need the responsibility. You need to.
Yes.
Only somebody who's able to respond, he can create the reality that he wants. Mm-hmm. But you're just in the victim mentality that things happen to me and I want it, and you will never create anything with this mindset, and you will always stay a victim. And if you like this reality, then enjoy it. But responsibility requires to give a lot and to be held accountable. But also, this is how you create the reality that you want.
This brings me actually back to the first question again that we already talked about. My question is how to let go of old patterns and old hurts from friends and family. Why do some men or women want to be with more than one partner? Is it fair for a man to have multiple sexual partners if he doesn't allow his girlfriend the same and she's okay with it? Would you like to start answering the question?
It is for you.
Okay, because I have so much talking time today, but sure. What I was thinking about the girlfriend, I was concentrating about the girlfriend. And I think it's very important to be aware, is he manipulating her into thinking that she's okay with not having sexual partners, but he does? Or is he communicating authentic and straight up, and she's still okay? Because in the end, it's also her decision and her responsibility. That if she doesn't like it, if she thinks that this is unfair, to leave the relationship, if it's legally possible. Because usually, I think, or I will just say it from this perspective, she doesn't need to stay. If she complains about it and she's unhappy with it, it's also her decision to let go of it. Yeah.
I think it's a matter of agreement. If they accept it, if she accepts it, it's fine. Everything that we're dealing with adult people.
Yeah.
And they have their priorities and they know what they want, what they like, what they don't want, what they don't like. If she's accepting that, then it's fine. If somebody has a problem with that, they need to change themselves in order to change their relationship. If they don't like the relationship, they always can leave. As long as the interaction is not made by force, everyone is free to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Like some women like to live with multiple men. Some men like to live with multiple women. Who am I to say what they should live and why they should live and what their fantasies should be? And everyone is free to live. And but when they violate the code of morality, which comes to the idea of force, they force somebody else out of their will, and then of course this will create forces that will have consequences for this, whether it's legal consequences or like kind of health consequences or like a social consequences. Then everyone needs to live in the consequences of their choices and actions. But as long as they are adult people who agree on this relationship and they are not hurting anyone with it, then I have no word. I cannot say anything against it or with it. It's none of my business, and I don't want to get engaged in a responsibility that is not mine. You know what I mean?
Yes. This is for sure the beauty of to have a free choice. What would be life without having a free choice? For me, to see, also we live in Berlin, and Berlin opened up my mindset about it a lot because people have different type of relationships here, different concepts of relationships. This is way more beautiful for me than to have only one solution to a relationship. Man and woman, married, that's it. It's not possible. We are so complex, we are so diverse in our gender, in our sexuality, in our fantasies. There cannot be only one solution. So this agreement, it's very important, and free will. And everyone has their own recipe on how they want to live a relationship. And who am I to judge? For sure. Yes. Okay, that was a lot of questions. Thank you so much. Different topics. It was so exciting, though I was a little bit nervous also. But I still enjoyed it to give you an answer, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Thank you so much, Shredy, for giving your opinion on it and your insights. Always so rich and fruitful to hear you talking.
My pleasure.
My pleasure too.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm really looking forward to read comments and other questions. And we see you in the next episode.
Yeah. Yeah, we see you in the next episode, and looking forward to your feedback and resonance. You can write your comments and ask the questions under the video, and we will take them seriously, and we enjoy this interaction with you all.
Thank you so much.